afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the British Embassy this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us, distinguished guests, colleagues, and panellists. Today, our panel discussion focuses on the question of women in peace and security and its importance for reinforcing NATO's defence and deterrence. Historically, the United Kingdom has played an integral role as a supporter of the Women, Peace and Security WPS agenda, which was encapsulated by Resolution 1325 of the United Nations, and the UK was one of the first countries to implement a WPS National Action Plan, and indeed the United Kingdom continues to hold the responsibility of pen holder in the UN for WPS and convener at the UN Security Council. And indeed in my remarks today I'm going to be drawing on those made by Archie Young, the UK's Deputy Permanent Representative at the UN at the Security Council meeting on Women, Peace and Security in October last year. So looking back, there is much to celebrate since the adoption of UN Security Council Resolution 1325. There's much to celebrate because it delivered a united message that for peace to be sustainable, it must be inclusive, which means it must be with women's full participation, full, equal, meaningful and safe participation. And yet, recent developments have also proved that there continue to be challenges, and we must continue to focus on this agenda to ensure that the decades of hard-won progress do not turn backwards. So from Sudan to Ukraine to the DRC and Gaza, conflict and violence are escalating, and women and children continue to bear the brunt. And the UK remains today steadfast in our commitment to advancing the Women, Peace and Security agenda globally. And within that, there are three areas on which the UK believes we must focus our attention and take collective action. Firstly, we should collectively be doing more to turn our commitments on women's participation into action. And the UK has supported greater involvement of women in peace processes in Sudan and the Philippines, in peace building in Myanmar and Syria, in defence in Ukraine, and in reconciliation efforts in Bosnia and Herzegovina. But the increased threats and reprisals against women who engage in peace and security are clearly unacceptable. And the UK will continue to work with partners, with UN Women, to help member states prevent and to mitigate the impact of those reprisals. Secondly, we need renewed efforts to prevent conflict related to sexual violence and strengthen justice and accountability for survivors. Since 2012, the UK has spearheaded the flagship Preventing Sexual Violence in Conflict initiative, and we continue to work consistently to confront the rising violence against women and girls. And thirdly, we must address the changing nature of conflict and the impact that this has on women and girls. On the front line and online, people are being targeted and undermining national security and exploiting societal vulnerabilities. So those attacks on the rights of women and girls threaten our shared security, both our national security, regional security and global security. It is of course, very promising to see that in the last 26 years, the WPS agenda has shifted from a view of women as primarily victims of conflict and violence to an analysis of women's roles in the armed forces and women's agency in peace processes. The past 26 years have also shown us that efforts to champion the role and rights of women and girls in peace and security can deliver meaningful change. So as we look ahead, we must redouble our collective efforts to protect the gains that have been made and to accelerate implementation for the next generation of women and girls. And this agenda is more critical than ever against the backdrop of rising conflict. So thank you very much indeed, all of you for being with us today for this important discussion. Just before I introduce our moderator and panellists, I would like to invite our guest speaker today, Philip Parham, who is from the directing staff of the Royal College of Defence Studies. Thank you again, everybody, for being with us.
Some members of the private sector. Most are colonels or brigadiers or the equivalent seniority. What the course does is to look at the whole range of global strategic challenges, the geopolitical context for those challenges, the factors and players which drive those challenges, and then looks at how to approach those challenges strategically, how to design strategy, how to make strategy, how to deliver strategy, how to be strategic leaders. And we do that through a series of lectures and panels with visiting experts, academics, practitioners program. And the activities in the program are very largely led by the members or students through seminars, case studies, strategic exercises, and study tours, both within the UK and, for example, to Brussels to meet NATO and the EU, or to Geneva to meet the international organisations there. And also, in May, which is why we are here now, we split up the roughly 110 members into 6 different groups. Each group goes to a different region and probably visits 3 countries in that region